Today we're going to talk about the ancestral domino effect. So I had an insight about 20 years ago. It was very clear to me that part of my purpose on this planet is to break the ancestral chain. What does that mean, Adam? Well, mistakes, energies, quirks, unproductive behaviours, and sometimes productive behaviours go from generation to generation. So bad habits are normally passed down. If your parents smoke, the odds are you'll smoke. You're far more likely that you will. If parents are negative or generally don't believe that they can achieve things, then the odds are that you'll pick up on those beliefs and they'll be passed from generation to generation. A lot of problems that I deal with are ancestral, and they don't originate in this lifetime. It's usually a great grandmother or grandfather that originates this behaviour, and it gets passed from generation to generation. That's just the way that it works with ancestral healing. So we pick up, and because of the way, if we're not trained in energy or energy release, the odds are, and it's funny, it's got all blustery since I started talking about this, because this is a very blustery subject for many people. If we don't deal with it, if we don't learn to release energy, then we become it. So that's the example of when your parents did stuff to you and then you find yourself doing that to the next generation or saying it in older life. You're like, that's not me. That sounds like something my mum would say or my dad would say. That's how it works, folks. And most people don't have the toolkit or the awareness or the motivation to break that cycle. But that's why I came here. I'm here to break that cycle. So I don't speak to my mother because she's narcissistic, and it's my job to break the ancestral chain. No, I don't hate her. I don't feel anything for her, but I'm not attached to the outcomes that come with all of the nonsense that's passed from generation to generation. And in our case, that's using inheritance to manipulate people, and the threat of being cut out of inheritance to manipulate people. And I decided at a very early age that I didn't care for the inheritance, and I wasn't going to be caught in that trap, and I wasn't. And hence the status quo that we have now, because as an empath you have to learn to draw boundaries, which I did, which you cross too often, and so we hit a point where I had to say, that's it, I don't want to see you anymore, I don't want to spend any more time with you if you cannot respect my boundaries. And que sera, folks. And that enabled me to move on and to change my energy in order to help the next generation, which in this case is my niece and nephew, so that they don't get trapped in this cycle. And that is my journey, that's part of my mission, and that's why my life is slightly different to a lot of people I know. I tend to work away from the herd, folks, not with them. And if that's you, if you're that black sheep of the family, the odds are that this is part of your mission as well. Breaking the ancestral domino effect. And the way that you do that is by setting boundaries and saying no and making sacrifices, not playing the game. Sacrificing things like the threat of losing your inheritance or things like that, and life gets easier. But it takes hard work, and it takes change, and it takes a lot of work on yourself. So folks, stay with the program, believe in yourself, and know that it's a very lonely journey at times for the empath or the person that's breaking the family mold, because you have to become that black sheep.